This is Grunt to Groan, sales lessons learned from professional wrestling. Coming to you from the fabulous Delaware Wrestling Thunderdome, I'm your host, Benjamin Burrows.
I am one voice that stands alone. I am one choice to man the throne. Stand guard and take shots, give it all I got. All I got is this microphone. I am
What a rush!
Reach for the sky, boy.
Hey, everybody, this is Billy Gunn.
Hi, this is Glasgow, Delaware Kit Kat.
Hey, it's me, the mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart.
This is the Birdman Coco Beware.
Hey, this is Leo Rush.
In Macho Madness, yeah. Growing, and more seductive than sex.
To me, they are the greatest tag team in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Matt and Nick Jackson, the Young Bucks!
Hey, this is the NWA World's Heavyweight Wrestling Champion, the National Treasure, Nick Holden.
Woo! It's the Nature Boy. Woo!
While you may see me out there shaking my ass, you can guarantee on May 25th, I'll be kicking it too.
This is Tito Santana, WWE Hall of Famer.
Hey, what's up? It's Tony Schiavone.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome one of the founding fathers of All In, the executive vice president of All Elite, Cody!
And what you gonna do when Hulkamania and the largest arms in the world destroy you?
Hi, folks out there. I'm Princess Clark, and I never listen to Grunt to Groan with Benjamin Burrows.
There you have it. The newest member of the Viking Raiders, Princess Clark. Pissed off Princess Clark. And she never listens to Grunt to Groan with Benjamin Burrows. I want to thank Princess Clark for dropping that liner for us. And if you'd like to do that, please email me at greatamericanthunder@gmail.com. Do me a voice memo. Cut me a liner that says that you never, ever listen to Grunt to Groan with Benjamin Burrows. It is a great and glorious day to be out selling your products and selling your services, for you are the Great American Thunder on which this nation rolls, because nothing happens until something is sold, until you sell it. And I want to thank Sonny Thunder and the Sons of Thunder for letting us use the Delaware Wrestling Thunderdome one more time for our podcast, this episode number 44. I want to thank Dave the Ray, our producer, for hanging out with us, and my staff at Grunt to Groan for helping us put together this week's podcast. If you'd like to get in touch with us, please do so. greatamericanthunder@gmail.com. I answer each and every email. There are no filters there. So please, greatamericanthunder@gmail.com. And we're going to jump right into this week's podcast. And this week's podcast has to do with, as a sales professional, being professional. Being the most professional that you can ever be. Being an exceptional professional. Now, I want you to keep that in mind. Exceptional professional. This is what our clients expect us to be. Not a sales poser, but a sales professional. And when you adopt the mindset that you want to be the most professional sales professional that you can be, your outlook on the industry of sales shifts. You've heard me say that you need to invest in yourself. You need to be trained. You need to read. You need to follow bloggers who blog about sales. You need to follow podcasts like this one that talks about being the best sales professional you can ever be. You need to educate and learn and continue to grow. That's a theme you've heard me say through just about every podcast. All 43 that have come before this one, and in this one, episode 44. Now, why do I bring that up? Well, first off, I want to clarify some things from episode 43's podcast. I have a correction to make. I had said that I saw the Briscoe brothers in December at the Citizens Fire Hall in Milford, Delaware. That was actually the Carlisle Fire Hall in Milford, Delaware. So for all my friends in Milford and all you volunteers at the Carlisle Fire Hall, I apologize for that. The Carlisle Fire Hall right there in Milford, they do great things. They have a barbecue. They're active in the community. So support the Carlisle Fire Hall if you are over in Milford. And I also said that when I see the Briscoe brothers, they are always the epitome of consistency and loyalty. And I should have added that they are consistent professionals.
Reach for the sky, boy.
And them boys from Sandy Fork, Delaware, know how to be professionals. And they are professionals from the time they enter the building to the time that they leave. And you could say it is one of the many reasons that the Briscoe brothers are considered one of the greatest tag teams of their generation. Again, those are the words of Bully Ray, a great tag team specialist on Sirius XM's Busted Open with Bully Ray and Dave LaGreca.
Reach for the sky, boy.
Now, I'm bringing up professionalism because I went to see an independent wrestling show this past Saturday night. And I don't want to sit here and offer a play-by-play critique, and I don't want to sound like that I'm being overly critical of the event. I think the event was good. It was a 1CW event. They always put on a good show. They always bring in top talent. And they just have a great sense of entertainment value. But there were some things where they weren't quite as professional as I felt that they could have been. Now, I'm going to tell you the highs right from the get-go. They brought back Russell the Love Muscle, who my grandson and I happen to like a great deal. Russell the Love Muscle is actually the wrestler playing Santa Claus on the back cover of my book, Grunt to Groan, Sales Lessons Learned from Professional Wrestling. Pick the book up at barnesandnobles.com or walmart.com or any.com that you can buy books at. So I was happy to see Russell the Love Muscle, and Russell always puts on a great show. He always interacts with his fans. He always interacts with the young people. So it was great to see Russell the Love Muscle come back. Also want to say that there was a tag team there that really ignited the crowd. And the tag team's name is South Philly's Finest. And these two partners in rhyme and crime were fit equally and perfectly for each other. I think that's the best way to put it. You know, they had the big, strong guy, and then they had the fast, smaller guy. They defeated the tag team Blackout. So I was really impressed. And South Philly's Finest, if they stay with us, you're going to hear about them possibly in Ring of Honor or Impact or maybe AEW, maybe even NXT or the WWE. South Philly's Finest, remember that. Now, and of course, I like Ty Awesome, a.k.a. Tyler Hastings, who we talked about last week. wrestling against the Viking Raiders on Monday Night Raw last Monday night. And I like the Funky White Boy. The Funky White Boy is very professional and interacts with his audience, his crowd, especially the younger fans, in a way that I haven't seen many independent or any non-independent professional wrestlers do. That's the good. That's all the good right there. Okay? And it was real cool. They had a live band there playing. It was at the Houston Fire Hall in Houston, Delaware, which always hosts great events. So that's the positive. Now here's the negatives. When we were standing in line to get tickets, and I had my two grandsons with me, the Skull Crusher brothers, and we're in line, and while we were waiting in line, we had to go past sort of like a little alleyway where we could see the wrestlers getting ready for the night's event. And there were several of them out there sucking down cigarettes. And it was a look that was so unbecoming of a professional wrestler. They're in their full wrestling gear, huffing and puffing down a cigarette. And, you know, young eyes see everything. And my grandson saw that. And at that moment, for my 10-year-old grandson, the illusion of professional wrestling disappeared. You see, professional wrestlers are great athletes, and they want to be viewed as great athletes. Now, you can say what you want about professional wrestling. You can say what you feel about professional wrestling, okay? But they are great athletes. If you saw the move that Tyler Hastings, a.k.a. Ty Awesome, did off the top turnbuckle in the tag team championship match, you would understand completely what I'm talking about in great athleticism. The move he made blew the audience away. It was like a triple somersault with another wrestler in his arms, landing perfectly on the mat. Don't know how he did it. Great appreciation for what he did. So professional wrestlers want to be viewed as professional athletes, and they are. But when you're standing outside in your wrestling gear, in the gear that makes the character that you are in professional wrestling, and you are sucking down a cigarette, you lose a lot of that mystique. It would be like watching a professional baseball player smoke a cigarette in the dugout between innings. You would lose a little bit of that argument that they were a great athlete. Because a great athlete, first and foremost, does what? They value and take care of their body. Now, this is just a pet peeve of mine. This may not have impacted or infected anybody else, but it affected me and my grandsons. Now, how does that tie into professional sales? It ties into professional sales because as sales professionals, we are to be at the top of our professional game when we are in front of our client all the time, 24 hours a day. Now, what happens after we leave the client? Whether we celebrate in some crazy way the good sales calls, or we sulk over the bad sales calls with an emotional outburst, this is something that the client should never see. We should be professional in front of our client all the time. And for a professional wrestler, a guy like me, buying tickets to come in and see them wrestle, I'm their client. And the image that I see is the image I'm going to carry into whether I buy tickets to go see another event or not. So as a sales professional, there's a lot to learn here. And as an independent professional wrestler, and I know there are several of you out there that listen, look, you got people looking at you all the time. Do not diminish your image, or do not diminish the impact you can have as a professional wrestler by standing outside in full gear smoking a cigarette. I mean, one wrestler threw out the F word. He dropped an F-bomb, which is crazy because there was just as many kids there as there were adults. And being professional separates independent wrestlers from the guys that are in Ring of Honor, that are in Impact, that are with NXT or the WWE. It's a difference between being ranked in PWI's top 500 or never being known. As sales professionals, this is a lesson that we can learn. Now, I'm going to draw from an article here, a blog actually, from blog.hubspot.com. And it's called What Separates Sales Professionals from the Sales Posers? These 6 characteristics. This was written by Art Sobczak. You can look it up online. It is a great read. I'm not going to read the entire article. I'm just going to skip down to the part that says, what is a sales professional? It says here that a sales professional is someone who sells products or services to potential customers. What do I call you? The great American thunder on which this nation rolls. Sales professionals seek to solve prospects' challenges through the products and services that they sell. Great sales professionals will have strong selling and communication skills. This is what separates a sales professional from a sales poser. And here are 6 characteristics of a true sales professional. I want you, if you don't mind, go to blog.hubspot.com and look this up. Number 1, competence. Professionals are obsessed with getting better. So as I critique independent wrestlers who smoke in view of their audience, their client, in full gear, I do this with love. I'm not doing this to be mean. And I hope you view this with an obsession of getting better. In this article, it says there are lifelong students who know they will never graduate because there's always more to learn. You know, Vince McMahon, the owner of the WWE, is rumored to sleep no more than 4 hours a day because he never wants his competition to gain a leg up on him. And he's always learning and growing how to make the product better. And sometimes he misses, and sometimes he hits. But that's a part of growth. True sales professionals are competent. Number 2, true sales professionals are good at communication. They are excellent at connecting, engaging, and carrying on a conversation. If you struggle to engage in conversation, practice. Practice with your family. Practice with your wife. Practice with your friends. Practice communicating in a very concise way. Number 3, A true sales professional has a customer-first attitude. That's right, our clients come first. First and foremost. Again, an independent professional wrestler can learn from this. A sales professional can learn from this. If you think your customer needs you, you're walking into that client relationship with the wrong mindset. Always have a customer-first attitude. Number 4, be reliable and be responsible. You know, we live in a world right now where standards have generally been lowered so much across the board that people expect nothing. Well, be the sales professional that challenges that. Again, in my own career, if I miss a call from one of my clients, I'm reliable and responsible in calling them back before the end of the day. As a matter of fact, if I go to the next morning calling them back, I constantly hear from my clients, Ben, I figured you were either extremely busy or something had happened, like an emergency. So true sales professionals are reliable and responsible. Number 5, true sales professionals are conscientious about their appearance. You know a professional when you see them and you hear them. In the book, Grunt to Groan, Sales Lessons Learned from Professional Wrestling, I talked about this. I talked about the Baranger, a new car sales professional who came to work every day in a suit and a tie, the gold rings on his finger, the gold bracelets, the high-dollar watch. When people purchased a vehicle from the Baranger, they purchased a vehicle from the best of the best, the number 1 sales professional in the dealership. And he would tell us all the time that that is part of true sales professionalism. And poise. Number 6. It is said that you can tell a lot about a person based on how they react in the face of adversity. How poised are they? Don't let the negative rattle you. Poise is about being able to think quickly on your feet and to openly and honestly address negative issues. Poise is also about being humble and gracious when the client gives you that big order. I've been fortunate to have some good semi-large orders this sales year, and I am humbled and thankful that the client chose me to give those orders to. Again, the article is from blog.hubspot.com, and it is entitled What Separates Sales Professionals from the Sales Posers, These 6 Characteristics. And that's going to end our podcast, Grunt to Groan, Sales Lessons Learned from Professional Wrestling, for this episode number 44. Again, if you would like to email me, please do so at greatamericanthunder@gmail.com. That's greatamericanthunder@gmail.com. If you would like to advertise on our podcast, please email me, greatamericanthunder@gmail.com. You can follow me on Twitter at Great American Thunder, at Real Ben Burrows, or connect with me on LinkedIn at Benjamin Burrows. And don't forget, purchase the book, Grunt to Groan, Sales Lessons Learned from Professional Wrestling. It's on barnesandnobles.com, walmart.com, and any.com that you can find good and fine books at. I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy day to listen to Grunt to Groan. And remember, you are the great American thunder on which this nation rolls, because nothing happens until something is sold. So quit listening to me and get out there. Sell something.
Voice that stands alone. I am one choice to man the throne. Stand guard and take shots. Give it all I got. All I got is this microphone.